Olá pessoal, tudo bem com vocês? Aqui quem fala é o Dante e você está no canal The Vicious. E hoje, cara, nós vamos continuar a nossa série de Tales of Arise. Agora que ficamos sabendo dos verdadeiros planos de Almeidrea, a lore desse local, que plano bem estranho, pra falar bem a verdade. E, cara, depois de transformar todo mundo em amoeba, ela acabou fugindo de navio. Segundo vocês, quando ela transforma as pessoas em amoeba e pelos aqueles sentimentos de raiva, ela consegue extrair muito mais astrais, né? E acaba ficando muito mais poderosa. Mas vamos ver o que o jogo nos aguarda. Tá bem top, no geral, o jogo. Algumas coisas que são meio difíceis de a gente se engolir, mas o joguinho, no geral, ele é muito bom. Então, vamos continuar. Eu espero que vocês estejam preparados. Se você puder ajudar o canal deixando aquele joinha logo no início do vídeo, isso realmente ajuda muito o canal. Se inscreva e ative o sininho, dessa maneira você não perde nenhum conteúdo novo. Se você tem condições de se tornar um membro assim como essa galera aqui de baixo, ajuda a manter o canal sempre na ativa. Então, let's go, meus queridos. Tudo pronto para ir, partir? Vamos embora. Beleza, mas segura, porque vai ser uma viagem daquelas. Bora, querido, sem medo. Sem medo, meu querido, vamos então velejar nesse navio. Tá lasqueira. Aí sim, hein? Vamos ver o que esse jogo vai nos aguardar ainda pela frente.
This is like a dream come true. Never gotten to captain a ship before. Never would have thought I'd get a chance like this. Thank you, y'all.
The pleasure's all ours. Think we'll catch up to her?
Of course we will. They got too much weight on them. Meanwhile, this ship's carrying nothing but us salty scalawags. They got a good head start on us, but we can take them.
Do you know if there are any Danans on that ship?
Couldn't say for sure. On the one hand, seeing as it's supposed to be something of another castle, I'd reckon they probably wouldn't let a bunch of Danans on board. On the other hand, I'd be real surprised if the Renans were able to pilot that thing all by themselves. In any case, it's gonna be a while before we reach her. Until then, you're all free to do whatever. Just don't fall in the ocean.
O grupo se separou.
I know Mahavar said we could take it easy, but there's not exactly a lot to do on this boat. I guess I'll check in on everyone and see how they're holding up.
Demorou um tanto pra gente alcançar ela, então fique à vontade, dá uma esticada nas pernas, vê com o resto do grupo já tá aí.
I took a look around inside the ship just in case, but I didn't find anything that looked like it might be suspicious.
Thanks, I appreciate it.
You know, it wasn't until I left Calaglia that I finally realized just how big the world is.
When we tore down the wall in Calaglia, and I could finally see the horizon in the far-off distance, I had the exact same thought.
Yeah, somehow the sea is different though. I'm not sure just how to put it. It's almost as if it just goes on forever. I bet my old man would have been blown away by this view.
Yeah.
Ever since he died, I've been thinking about what it was that he was really trying to say to me at the end. I keep going over his words again and again. And heck, maybe I'm just overthinking it all. But still, sometimes I wonder if it could have turned out differently. If there was something I could have done. But no matter how much I play it back, I'm still no closer to finding any answers. And then there's everything with Rinwell. I stopped her from killing Almeidrea, but was that really the right thing to do? Or did I just end up making things harder for her? I feel like such a screw-up.
You're not the only one. I keep asking myself what Zephyr would have done had he been here. Like I think, how would Zephyr have handled Rinwell?
Yeah, I think he definitely would have stopped her. No doubt about it.
And that's exactly what you did, Law. I think he'd be really proud of you.
Alphen.
Zephyr's not the worst yardstick to measure ourselves against. Let's both do our best to make him proud.
Sounds like a deal. Thanks, Alphen.
Acho que a gente vai ter que conversar com a galera aí.
Hold that pose long enough and someone might just come along and paint you.
Any artist who'd see fit to paint me needs their eyes tested.
What can you tell me about Almeidrea?
Not as much as you'd probably wish. I only ended up crossing paths with her a handful of times, after I was chosen to be a lord on Lenegus.
Ah, right. I almost forgot about Lenegus. How much do you think they know about what's been going on down here?
It's safe to assume they know everything, though I know not why they choose to remain uninvolved. Perhaps they see what's been happening as just part of the ongoing crown contest.
Even what Almeidrea did? Has it really reached the point where her actions are seen as normal?
Not to my knowledge, no. At its core, the crown contest is a competition to see who can amass the most astral energy. And to amass such energy, slaves are needed to collect it from. It's therefore against the Lord's interest to kill them.
So then why would Almeidrea do something like that?
We must remember that time is running out in the crown contest. Perhaps her hand was forced, so to speak. It is a way to accrue astral energy faster and in larger quantities than through slave labor. Doing so kills off that labor force, obviously, but it is a means to an end nonetheless. No one could have foreseen that something like the Hollowing would arise back when the contest was first conceived.
Is becoming the Sovereign of Rena really that important to the Lords?
Of course. It's the greatest prize one can attain in their eyes. In that respect, at least, I'm really not that surprised that Almeidrea resorted to what she did, as utterly despicable as it is.
It's reassuring to hear you feel the same way I do.
I worry that the only reason I never did anything similar in Menancia was due to my lack of ambition.
If you didn't want to be reminded of your past, you could have just plugged your ears.
You think too highly of me. I'm afraid I must respectfully disagree. I'm not nearly as virtuous of a person as you might wish to believe.
If that's so, would you have been so shaken up when Kisara lost her brother? Why else would you turn your back on your own kind and choose to fight for Miguel's dream? Aren't we just Danans?
A curious choice of words. Did what you see in Mahag Sar hit you that hard?
What Deadheim did to that city, he didn't liberate anyone. Anyone who refused to follow him was an enemy in his eyes. 300 years of Renan rule taught him nothing.
What I have come to understand is that the conflict extends beyond Danan versus Renan. There is an internal quarrel as well. I mean to bring about a true, lasting coexistence in Menancia. But there are more walls we must topple first.
And you don't think you can pull it off?
Well, you seem to think you can, at least.
Does that make us enemies?
Insofar as an exchange of swordplay, no, it doesn't.
Not good enough for you?
Are you really... Forgive me. I will continue to fight by your side a while longer. That much I have decided.
Doideira, hein?
You don't look so good. Are you all right?
Ih, tá enjoado.
It keeps moving. How can you stand it? How can you even stand?
I'm not the best person to ask about discomfort. I can't feel pain, remember?
I still can't believe what happened in Niez. Even now. As a lord, my expectations for Almeidrea were already pretty low. But the way she treated human lives like they're mere playthings.
Yeah. And it wasn't as if the situation in Niez was improving much to begin with.
You mean Deadheim?
The whole reason I started fighting back was because of my anger at the atrocities of Renan rule. Back then, all I had to worry about was fighting the Renans for the sake of the Danans. But then I met Shion and the people of Menancia, and things became a lot more complicated. It's even messier now that we have to worry about Danans like Deadheim.
It used to be that the Danans were the ones in the right, and the Renans were the ones in the wrong. Though, maybe that was just a biased perspective, from being on the side of the oppressed.
Exactly. I'll never tolerate the Renans ruling over us. But nothing ever ends up being as black and white as you'd expect it to be either. That's clear to me now.
That said, Even putting aside bad apples like Deadheim for a moment, you may be able to free the Danon people, but that won't undo 300 years of oppression. It'll be hard for them to not give in to their resentment. I think maybe that's why I clung to our dream so hard back in Menancia.
Even if his motivations weren't pure, Dohalim has a good heart. He didn't sink to the depths Almeidrea did.
You don't understand. I'm saying that it goes deeper than that. This hierarchy we live in, it's not solely something the Renans invented. I remember a story Rinwell once told me. She said before the Renans invaded, we Danans had our own class system. We are the ones who divided ourselves. I saw it in Deadheim's eyes. He wanted to rule over others.
To hear Bayfon tell it, Deadheim wasn't always that way.
But as time went on, and he and the Darkwings fought the Renans, he eventually changed. I guess what I'm getting at is, if we defeat the Renans but just go back to the way things were before, was there even any point in fighting?
But that world isn't the one you want to create, right?
Maybe not. But to tell you the truth, these days I'm not so sure that dream is even possible.
You have your promise to Megal, though. Your home and the people of Menancia are depending on you.
I know. My brother. He truly believed in his dream of coexistence. And I suppose, even now, many people still do. And then, there's you.
Who, me?
You and Shion.
Not sure I follow.
Okay, then let me spell it out for you. How many other Renans and Danans do you know that get on as spectacularly as the two of you?
I don't know that I'd say spectacularly.
Well, I suppose it's really all a matter of how you look at it, isn't it?
I really don't see what you're getting.
I think I'm getting seasick again. Sorry. Can you just give me a wide berth for a few minutes?
Coitada. Quem aí que tem náusea aí já navegou e ficou com náusea assim? Eu nunca tive esse problema.
Do you think Law is okay?
If you're worried, why don't you ask him yourself?
Yeah. I think maybe I should apologize to him too. I should apologize to all of you, really.
Us too?
Well, I was kinda lying to you all this whole time. I was blind to everything except my own revenge. I never even considered the struggles all of you might be facing.
We all have things we'd prefer to keep to ourselves, Rinwell. So what if you had something to hide? It doesn't undo the good that you've done, or the people that you've helped save along the way.
But that's not what I mean.
I know. You're talking about Almeidrea, right?
Yeah. I hate her, Alphen. I can't stop hating her. Even just thinking about her makes my head feel like it's going to explode. But it's not just her. I think about the way Law looked at me. I hated the Lord who killed my parents. And I hated the Renans I had to travel alongside. And yet, Cislodia's Danans backstab each other like it's a normal way of life. And Mahag Sar has people like Deadheim. But then there are people like Law and Shion. It's all just too much. I don't know what to think anymore.
Law never said that you had to forgive Almeidrea. It's only natural you would hate your family's murderer. But
what?
Law left home because of how much he hated his father. As a result of that, well, I think Law spent a lot of time thinking about how they never got to make things right. And if I had to guess, killing Ganabel didn't make any of those feelings go away. Law let revenge fuel him, And I think now he's afraid you'll do something you'll regret.
Afraid?
Whatever happens to Almeidrea when this is all over is up to you. I'll respect whatever choice you make. Just think it over carefully for me, okay? You still have time.
Okay. Thanks, Alphen. Say, back then, after the fight, I think I really made Xion mad. I don't know, though. Maybe it just looked that way. But I guess I just can't seem to understand how she feels. Do you know why she gets like that?
Xion's... She can be a tough nut to crack. She doesn't really talk a whole lot about herself.
It's just what she said about hate being a source of strength. Where did that come from? I wonder how it feels, not being able to hold another person's hand.
Eu pensei que não ia dar pra falar com a Xion. Só que falta, né, cara? Tá aqui ela. Vai ter ceninha especial também com ela.
Lean much further, you'll go overboard.
Chato.
Keeping an eye out for Almeidrea's ship?
I'm looking at the ocean.
The ocean?
Yeah. The waves. They help me think. This world is filled with natural wonders. The icy air and white peaks of Cislodia. The lush green glades of Menancia. The harsh wastes of Calaglia. But Menancia has its lake of death, and Nias its ruins. And they wouldn't be there if it weren't for that contest.
Say we actually managed to put a stop to the crown contest for good. What do you think will happen between the Danans and the Renans then?
You first.
Well, I want to believe that the coexistence we saw in Menancia can happen elsewhere, too. It's insane for all of us to keep fighting. If Menancia can do it, so can everyone else.
Yeah, I think that would be good too. A world where everyone can get along. At least, that's what I've come to believe.
You sure have changed.
I can't lie to you. Since I was young, I've looked down on the Danans too. But I've seen a lot. And I see things differently now. I've seen so many ugly and terrible things in this world. And yet, they didn't come from just the Danans. And the good things too. They didn't come from just the Renans. Kindness and cruelty exist on both sides. A person's race doesn't factor into it. So, I guess you're right after all, Alphen. I have changed. You know, I've never actually touched another person like this.
Xion.
Ever since I was on Lenegis, I've always been alone. Even after I came to Dana. Always.
And now?
Do you still not remember your past?
No. Sometimes it feels like I can almost remember. But then this mask stops me.
The mask keeps you from remembering why you have the mask in the first place. It's a little ironic, isn't it?
A little. Well, it won't be long now before you're rid of those thorns, you know? Only 2 lords remain. And once you have their master course, you'll be able to create the Renis Alma, right? Then you can... Shion?
Sorry, it's nothing. Promise. You're right, though. It'll all be over soon. I never could have made it this far on my own. I have everyone to thank for that. Including... especially you, Alphen.
Don't worry about it. We're friends, after all.
Yeah, we are.
Finalmente. Bicha difícil.
Wonder how much longer it's going to be before we catch up to Almeidrea. I'll ask Mom.
Não dá pra falar com ninguém, né? Coitado dela, tá ruim ali ainda. Aquele navio saiu mais na frente do que eu pensava. Se quiser tirar um cochilo antes das coisas esquentarem, agora é a hora. Descansar. Vamos lá, vamos lá. Quero porrada, caras.
Look who's up. Good timing. We're closing in on her stern as we speak.
Que navio gigante, hein, cara?
That's the ship? She's huge. Law, go gather the others, will you? Think you'll be able to flank them without getting spotted?
Yeah, with the fog as our ally, I think I might just pull it off. Long as we ain't too noisy, we should be okay.
What'll you do if they catch on to us?
Not much I can do. Ship that size, they'll probably blow us to bits before we ready cannons.
A princípio tudo certo, né?
Persistent little things. Evidently, I shouldn't have spared the wretched vermin. Hungry already, my dear? Worry not, for you shall have plenty to feast upon shortly.
Vamos acabar com essa mulher também.
Perfect. You managed to get us right up beside them.
I'll stay with the ship so we can leave as soon as you're done.
Good. Then let's find Almeidrea.
Almeidrea. Vamos encontrar Almeidrea. Fortaleza móvel Gladia. Os membros que saíram do grupo retornaram. Caramba, tem mais fala ainda.
Now that's what I call a ship.
Yeah. The biggest one in all of Mahagsar. So big that it took years to construct.
For all we know, Kelzelik may well have been smuggling materials to help build it. In which case it would be yet another mistake on my part.
We don't know that she was only getting materials from Menancia.
You think it's possible that they might have come from elsewhere too? Yeah, I guess I could see it.
But what do you think Almeidrea plans to do from here on out, now that she's abandoned her realm and sailed out to sea?
She'll be filling her coffers with gold, most likely. Then she'll sit back and enjoy the show as the other lords duke it out. Or something to that effect, at least.
I wouldn't put it past her.
She's strong, yet shrewd, and will stoop to any low. A dangerous one indeed.
She's not the first, and she won't be the last. This is a lord we're talking about, remember?
Sounds like you've made up your mind already.
There was never anything to decide. No one who can smile like that while doing what she did deserves to roam free.
Yeah, you're right.
Vamos lá.
This might not be the best time, but if you have a minute. That mask of yours, it was shattered by a blow from Balsef when you fought back in Calaglia, correct?
Yeah, thanks for the reminder. I thought I was a goner.
Balsef's brute strength was in a league all its own. Yet half the mask remains. It's remarkably durable. Too durable to be Danon in origin.
Shion said the same thing. As if the fact I was wearing it meant there had to be more to me than met the eye.
You recalled your name when the mask broke, I hear.
Yeah, that's right. Although to tell you the truth, I'm a little scared what might happen when I lose the remaining half. Then again, the idea of not doing something because I'm afraid scares me even more. That's why I go on fighting.
Only he who first faces the night catches a glimpse of the dawn.
Come again?
It's nothing. Forget I said anything.
Deu? Meu Deus. É fala, hein, caras. Poção de vida, remédio milagroso que desperta um aliado nocauteado em combate. Já viu, né? O jogo te dando coisinhas é porque o pau vai comer. Vai ter porrada em todo mundo. Bora. Já quebra. Tome, tome. Aí, já era. Vambora, passar uns nivelzinhos aí que eu tô com experiência extra. Tome. Tome. Já era. Aproveitar a experiência que a gente ganha, hein? Achei que a gente não vai poder passar, ó. Que coisa é essa? Impressão minha ou se parece com aquela que a gente viu lá em Rivel? Calma lá, isso é feito de energia astral. Pode ser mais a armadilha da Almeidrea. Droga, mas o que a gente faz? Se eu manipular a energia astral, talvez consiga me livrar dela. Vou ter que tentar. Vai gastar PC aqui. Legal, né? O jeito como ela absorveu ali, eu achei legal agora. Bora. Tem um grandão ali, hein? Tô com umas habilidades top eu agora, hein? Tome. Pô, barbaridade. Carambas. Tô com uns combos massa agora, hein, cara. Vamos ficando top pra caramba. Tem que aproveitar pra ganhar bastante nível aqui, hein? Eu tô com uma vantagem ali pra aumentar nível, então a gente tem que aproveitar bastante aqui pra ganhar bastante nível, meus queridos. Vou pegar os itens tudo também, né? Esse aqui, tomate. Tomatinho! Vamos lá pelo outro lado que eu não vi o que tem do outro lado. Vambora. Não sei ter visto alguma coisa brilhando ali, mas foi só impressão minha. Coçadinha no nariz. Pra não perder o costume. Itemzinho aqui. Alfacinha! Pizza maluca! Vamos lá, vamos lá. Cara, o que teve de fala nesse início de vídeo que minha nossa, hein? Tem um elevador aí. O elevador tá desligado, é claro que sim, né? Tem do outro lado. Aqui. Pegar o itemzinho, goma de pêssego. Pegar esses caras aqui. Nossa, essa habilidade aqui fechou muito bem, cara. Vai com esse cara aí. Nossa, top demais essas habilidades que eu tô agora. Aí. Emblema obtido, quebra armaduras. Boa. BA recuperada após esquiva, defesa perfeita. Isso aqui. Menos requisitos para despertar. E aqui, mais dano, golpe de impulso. Vou botar esse aqui. Bora. Nossa, tem um cara de armadura e um cara de tiro aqui. Não vou dar chance não. Tô sem ponto. Tome-lhe. Pelão demais, né, cara? Bastante experiência agora, hein? 10.200 Gaudes. Boa, querido. O jogo só fica cada vez mais interessante, né? Não tem como negar. Aqui um chazinho. Leitinho! Pizza maluca! Aí, o pau come. Não, você não vai usar magia, não. Nossa, que top! Nossa, top demais essas habilidades que eu tô agora, cara. Top demais, cara. Tá top demais, cara, o jogo agora. Nós vamos ganhar muita experiência aqui dentro, hein, caras. Goma de laranjinha! Acho que eu usei a habilidade na hora certa, hein. Ei, tem um cavaleiro vermelho aí. Bora. Bora. Rapaz, é muita apelação, né? Caramba, top, hein? Lá vamos. Cruz implacável. Chave de acesso A aí, ó.
Never seen anything like it.
It's an authentication key. They're quite common.
Maybe where you're from.
Tem mais uma batalha aí, eu aumentaria bastante a experiência agora. Bifinho! Vambora, meter o pé. Simbora, pegamos tudo aqui. Aqui. Nossa, dá pra pegar todos os níveis? Nível inferior. Não é o nível inferior, dá uma olhada. Tem bastante níveis aqui, cara. 2 itens ali. Tô no nível inferior aí, ó. Yep. Bora. Os bichos porre aí. Não vai não. Base. Quebrou. Boa. Toma. Rapaz, já foi tudo. Putz, grila. Enganação, hein? Bicho escondido lá. Precisa aparecer um bicho brabo ali no meio. Esse camaleão aí é de lascar, cara. Tome. Cacides. Toma-lhe. É uma loucura, mas vamos. Caramba, uma loucura isso, rapaz. Sai de perto, sai de perto. Calanguinho já não tá tão forte pra nós. Vazei. Bora. Já era, bichão aí. Capote branco. Capote branquíssimo feito de pano imbuído de energia astral. O tecido nunca escurece com o tempo, por mais que seja usado. E aqui? Emblema mágico, emblema que aumenta o ataque elemental. Suas aplicações óbvias se tornam um item favorito entre artistas e astrais elementais. Então vamos lá. Acho que é tudo armadura pra ela, hein? Emblema mágico ela já tá usando. Certo. Continuando a nossa investigate desse navio gigantesco. É uma baita de uma dungeon, então acredito que a gente vai ter bastante tempo aqui. Goma de pêssego, muito bom para batalhas de chefes. Esse andar aqui foi bom, hein? Tem bastante coisa aqui. Continuar a investigate. Bora. Bora aproveitar nosso... Ui, ui, ui. Vambora. Dale. Nossa. Bora. Quebra ele. Eu quero acabar com esse carinha aqui, ó. Já era. Dale. Nossa. Aí é a briga de quem bate mais ele. Caramba. Bicho. Não, vamos bater. Não, pode bater, pode bater. Bora. Não, pode bater, vambora. Ó, chave de acesso B, segundo andar. Eu era obrigado a vir pra cá, ó. Poção de felicidade. Vamos pegando tudo que aparece aí. Tem uns monstrinhos aí presos aí, ó. Examinar. O experimento da tenacidade aprimorada foi um sucesso. Lady Almeidrea ficará bem satisfeita. Sua excelência afeiçoou-se a este Zelga. O laboratório inteiro quase foi demitido por causa dele. Um Zelga preso em uma jaula. Se não está atacando invasores, deve ser o bichinho de estimação da Almeidrea ou uma cobaia. Carne de cavalo. Caramba, tem bastante itemzinho aqui, uma pousada, hein? Ovinho! Bora. Já podemos ir pro segundo andar. Já viram que essa quest aqui vai ser bem grande, né? Segundo nível. É, já viu, né? Olha isso aí, cara.
What is that huge flower-looking thing up there? Is that the ship's engine?
Indubitably. As one might expect, large ships require large engines in order to sail.
And if we destroyed it?
We might well sink the ship. Who knows if we would be able to escape before that happens.
Almeidrea sure has been busy since the contest began.
This isn't Almeidrea's doing.
You mean she didn't build this?
The body, yes. However, my guess is that the engine comes from a starship.
A starship? As in one of those vessels used to go to and from
Correct. The technology employed on Lenegus and in starships It's more advanced than anything in our daily lives. Almeidrea may be resourceful, but she could never produce an engine like this on her own.
You mean to tell me we've got even bigger enemies waiting for us up in the sky? My head hurts just thinking about it.
Don't worry about that for now. Just focus on taking care of Almeidrea.
Olha isso aí, rapaz. Um motor gigantesco aí. Será que eu consigo passar por aqui? Não, vou ter que passar por aqui primeiro. Vamos dar uma olhadinha aqui aos arredores. Deve ter itens. Goma de pêssego. Muito bom. Seguindo aqui para o outro lado. Mais coisinhas. Arrozinho! Vamos lá. Vou pegar esse lado aqui primeiro. Vamos entrar aqui. Mais dinheirinho pra nós. Aí, seus trouxas. Tome-lhe. Bora. Já era. Nós estamos bem fortinhos agora, hein? Tem um brilhante aí. Vale. Agora que já foi ele. Dale. Já era, mais um. Ah, muito easy. Por enquanto tá muito easy. Tá, vambora. Tem alguma coisa aqui que eu não vi, hein? Ou como eu ia deixar isso aqui, rapaz. Açafrão vermelho. Coisa boa. Pra upar. Tá por aqui. Pegar esse itemzinho aqui. Uhul, ó. Cadê? Ah, asinha de fada. Ah. Asas de brabuleta. Muito bom. Vamos coletar isso aqui. Beleza. Aqui pra cá. Colete natural. Colete feito só com materiais naturais. De acordo com os criadores, quem usa pode assumir seu verdadeiro eu e viver em harmonia com a natureza. Quem usa colete? Aí. Beleza. Continuando aqui. Eita lasqueira. Essa porta aqui tá bem protegida, hein? Quebra. Toma ele. Vou acabar com ele já, pra não ter problema. Vale. Beleza. Vamos pelas costinhas. Dali. Não, você não vai fazer nada que eu não vou deixar. Tome-lhe, tome-lhe, tome-lhe. Vambora, não terminamos ainda, vamos continuar. O cara tá há 500 anos já pra Toma ele. Já era. Muito bom. Abriu aquela porta, muito bom. Não terminamos ainda, cara. Tem muita coisa aqui ainda pra fazer. Coloca esse bicho aqui, vamos. Eu não sei como mirar em outro inimigo, então vamos lá assim mesmo. Dale. Toma-lhe, toma-lhe. Já era, mais um pro saco. Tem 11.500 gal. Caramba. Achando muito item aqui. Mais uns caras aqui. Very good. Vamos eu tenho que usar um item aqui, cara. Tô com 100. Agora, cara. Goma de laranja. Vou ter que gastar. Pra poder abrir essa porta aqui. Espero que valha a pena, hein. Anel de resistência. Ah, só isso, cara. Putz, não valeu a pena não, hein. Tá, foi daqui que a gente veio. Demos uma volta completa no lugar. Vamos olhar aqui por baixo agora. Tem um item aqui, ó. Vamos pegar este item. Poção de vida, muito bom. Vamos eliminar esses caras aqui da ponte. Certo. Mais um pro saco aí. Eu não consegui chegar no nível 30, hein, cara. Caramba, não foi por falta de batalhar, hein. Maçã 5 vezes. Deixei item pra trás aqui, cara. Acho que é isso. Essa porta aqui abriu. Caramba, tem dois monstrão ali. Uma porta pra lá. Vamos ver o que tem aqui. Tem uma batalha grande agora, hein? Tem uma batalha bem grande agora. Tem 3 inimigos muito fortes ali. Temos mais uma portinha daquelas. Elixir. E vamos lá, vamos pra batalha, mas deixa eu salvar primeiro, né? Porque sabe como é, né? Bora. Vamos lá que aqui o pau vai comer, meus queridos. Cara, eu acho que eu não olhei do outro lado, hein? Tinha do outro lado aqui não, né? Bora. Se a gente conseguir acabar com esse cara melhor. Acaba com um cara rápido pra não ter problema. Esse aqui agora. É difícil essa batalha, hein? Essa batalha aqui vai ser bem mais difícil. Bora. Aê. Toma ele. Recupera um pouquinho. Preciso usar item, cara. Goma de laranja. Vamos acabar com esse bicho aí. Acabou? Acabou. Me recupera aí, vamos. Recupera aí que a coisa tá feia. Nossa, ela tira muito dano essa guria. Devia ter usado agora. Caramba, ela tá com umas magias top. Já era. Caramba, que loucura. Eu não sei o que tem aqui atrás, cara. Mas parecia uma estrelinha aqui.
She sure spared no expense on her castle.
This must be...
The captain's quarters. The presence of the spirit vessel and the sheer extravagance on display can leave no doubt.
There's no one here.
Yeah, but I doubt she's out for a moonlight stroll. You think she jumped ship and ran away again?
I doubt it. The conniving witch is probably up to something.
Agreed. In any case, as long as she hasn't suddenly sprouted wings, she has to be somewhere on the ship. Let's keep looking.
Que bom, me dá a possibilidade de salvar o jogo agora, cara. Caras, eu vou fazer o seguinte, a gente vai terminar esse episódio por aqui. Eu espero que vocês tenham curtido esse episódio. Foi muito texto no início, mas agora a porrada comeu solta, meus queridos. Vou salvar de novo para garantir aqui. Caras, peço a vocês que deixem um gostinho para apoiar, se inscreva, ative o sininho. E nos vemos então no próximo episódio de Tales of Arise. Falou!